flashback to 1987 when there's 3 kills happening. 3 teenagers, sort of like a Halloween Michael Myers sort of deal, like done by the Sweet 16 killer. He gets that because he has like OCD. He's got to stab each one of his victims 16 times. Yeah. That's so exhausting. 16. What if they only die like 2 or 3? Well, we saw that. He stabbed somebody later, even though they're clearly dead. He's like, I gotta get my 16 in. Jamie is the blonde final girl that we're following in this movie. It's her mom who actually survived the 1987 attack. But then all these years later in 2023, Halloween night, this Sweet 16 killer actually tricks or treats at her door. And this is not unusual because there's like a podcast that goes on in this city and people like still wear the masks. It's almost like a Max Headroom sort of mask. And he attacks her. She's ready for it too. She's got guns playing around the house. They fight a little bit, pepper sprayed him in the face. He's like, oh man, the alarm's coming on, the cops are here, but pops up behind her, slices her, and cuts her up pretty good, and then I guess get those 16 stabs in, and she's gone. Basically, Jamie's mourning. She has this friend who's like a scientist, or her mom's a scientist too. The killer tries to attack Jamie on science fair day. The girl built her photo booth sort of time machine thing. Their struggle, he accidentally stabs it, and I guess it sets it off, and she's accidentally in it, and it sends her back in time to 1987. You could still hotbox a cigarette with children in the car. Crazy stuff. He does the Back to the Future thing and tries to roll into high school to try to meet her mom, and her mom is like a mean girl. They have this like rager party that's gonna be happening later tonight. Her friend doesn't give BJ's, so this guy's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. So it leaves her all alone to get killed, and then the Sweet 16 killer shows up and stabs this girl. And this girl was the same actress who was in like Scream 6. Stabbed up like 16 times, but some of them were missing or went through, and it leaked because she was on a waterbed, and the waterbed was very 80s, so I don't know, that's fun. She tried to warn the police, but of course, that does nothing. You just sound more suspect if you tell the police anything. They go to the cabin, and then in the cabin, the Asian girl is supposed to die. And she fell asleep on the ride there. She's like, hey man, let's go to the city. Oh, we're going to my dad's condo. Then, so the killer comes, throws her down the stairs, beats her up a bit, stabs her 16 times. Or enough times as he could before everyone started to fight with them. Some of the guys got involved. They got a poker and swung it, and then that guy left. Podcaster guy's actually working with the girl. So the next girl, she's actually like living on borrowed time, like Final Destination. She was supposed to die and didn't. Set up a trap for him over at this like haunted house they have at that fair. Because she gives BJ's in there. I guess the BJ Queen's going in there as bait, and the Sweet 16 killer shows up. They hit him with baseball bats. He tries to slice his way through him, but he actually gets killed. He gets a sickle right through his chest, and they took off the mask, and oh my god, it was Doug. You're like, who's Doug? Doug was the principal who was in the future, and he was dating Fat Trish. Then she got real upset, called Doug, said, oh, they thought I was sleeping with the PE teacher. And then she got in her car and drove drunk and died. So they're sort of responsible for his death. But I like that, dude. That's like old school slasher motive. So another Sweet 16 killer comes up and slices this girl right in the throat. Oh, this one is actually, they're like, well, what the hell? We just killed him, and another one popped up. Of course, you gotta split up. This is a big group. You gotta split up after that. The Sweet 16 killer's chasing Jamie and her mom. This news reporter is actually reporting the news that he walks by and stabs him in the head. Yeah, like this. Go inside one of those twirly UFO things they had, the rides they have at the park. Well, they get inside that because that's the time machine that they actually built to send them back. They fight inside that. The mom actually gets stabbed, thrown out of the UFO, but the guy's mask fell off with it. And oh man, it's the new podcast guy. The guy can't travel back in time from 2023 to 1987. There's two Sweet 16 killers, but he was doing that so his podcast would do better. So he killed the mom back in 2023. I guess Doug sort of retired. He was like, dude, I'm done Sweet 16 killing. You just hung it up.
He found Jesus or some shit.
The podcaster and her are fighting inside the UFO, and it spins, and you have to stay in the center. He's got a couple of knives, so he's fighting with her. She stabs him in the arm, and then she takes a nail gun, shoots him in the chest, and he flies off, turns into pink mist, and explodes because the thing is spinning so fast. So the time machine actually takes her back to 2023. And same thing with like Back to the Future. Everything's changed. I think changed for the better. They were already doing sort of rich and well anyway. I don't think they got any richer. She has a different name. And everything's back to normal.
With these things, you gotta do a sequel, right? Will we get one? I don't know, man. With time travel, anything's possible.